GCSE Art. Hi all, welcome back. Today I'm touring my Year 10 and 11 sketchbooks, and hopefully giving you all some tips on how I got my grade 9 in GCSE Art. Do take everything with a grain of salt, as I will only be giving general tips. Each exam board differs, and I happen to be one of the years that wasn't required to sit a GCSE Art exam. Starting from the beginning, this is my Year 10 sketchbook. This was the jewel of the crown, as the strong start basically made the first impression in the exhibition. This page proved super important, as it showcased my technical skill right from the get-go, which is what you should do too. Art teachers eat this type of studies up. Quick, even stylized drawings or paintings right inside the sketchbook are a perfect way of gaining some extra marks. Little contraptions like these also prompt the examiners to interact further with your work. More so if you go out there, take your own pictures, and include them in. This is where I actually started to display classwork, with the experimental drawing page. We started off by looking at natural forms, using many techniques. A good way to show your progress is by adding in swatch tabs. Pen and wash is just so quick and easy to do, and as you can see, it creates a really nice effect when the right pen is used. I'll be honest, I don't know why we did this. But it serves as experimentation, and gets you some extra points. This homework alone got marked a 9A star. By no means am I saying you should spend 8 hours drawing a cabbage, but that's what I did, and it paid off. This was a mixed media piece, and from an examiner's POV, it showed that I can use more than one medium on the same work. Stringing stuff in is also a good way to add to a page, or just to put stuff in that wouldn't normally fit on an A3 spread. Artist research pages show that you, as a student, are capable of interacting with the art world, and learn from the techniques of others. Looking back at it now, this is such an unnecessary amount of detail, and all of this writing could have been replaced with more experiments in her style, or more showcases of her work. Apart from looking at artists, another great way of gaining marks is exploring studies of composition, color, and layout. A spread like this demonstrates understanding of color theory, whilst giving you the opportunity to create something nice and bright, like these gummies I drew, inspired by Sarah Graham, a favorite amongst GCSE students. Stretching beyond the realm of 2D, and creating 3D pieces like pottery, portrait sculptures, arrangements of found objects, and other 3D forms of art pushes your multimedia discipline even further, showing you can make art in all planes of existence. Obviously, continue looking at artists. Never stop studying and noting down artists that you like, and whose works might influence yours. I've always tried to be consistent, mostly in Year 10, with showing the progress of my work and the final products. Showing the thought that goes into an outcome paints you as a calculated student, making examiners see you as an even better candidate, worthy of those higher marks. I've tried to never be scared of just throwing color at a piece of paper, as shown in this spread. I just let myself go, creating something unconventional. Even then, I managed to find artists that did something similar, and directed myself towards a new area of art, which can be seen here. Working with Stabilo fine liners and a water brush, I experimented with the theme of the underwater world. From then on, I experimented on laminate paper, with Posca pens, and even created a digital outcome on my iPad to see how a final product might look like. In the end, it came out looking super. And that's for Year 10. I never had an issue for leaving out a few blank pages at the end of a sketchbook. If the work you're bound to add doesn't flow nicely with the theme of the first one, you might as well start fresh. My Year 11 sketchbook focused on the human form. Starting of strong, we have artist research. Moore is certainly not for everyone, as his abstract sculptures might be harder to interpret for some, but still, this study of abstraction actually shows you're able to comprehend unconventional forms of art. Linking back to the same experimental drawing from Year 10, I looked at the good old drawing mannequin, and created a series of drawings, in various media, or techniques. These include blind drawing, pen and wash, and simply pencil studies, as seen here. Annotations and walkthroughs of how you created the pieces not only add to the background, but also show you know what you're doing. I also like to add little summaries of each piece, including the materials I used, the paper I drew it on and how long it took me. Here I looked at eyes and faces from across the globe, in the 3 little outcomes on the bottom right side of the spread. The colored blue eye is, however, the main character here, having taken me around 6 hours to complete, but I think I got a 9 for this homework as well. I used my Prismacolors for it. I will talk about them later. Looking at the crude beauty of the human form is again a great way of showing a mature approach towards exploring and experimenting in art. Here, I used watercolor to create these studies on the left and strung in. Hand are notorious for being the most difficult part of the body to draw, but they are also very rewarding when done properly. There was a drawing right on this missing gap. I wonder where it went. Except for the TBC areas, these pages are a really good way of showing the progress. Another good way of showing the progress is by sticking in dried paint palettes. I know this is very risky to do for a fine art course, but if justified, it can work really well. I stuck in some of my very old digital art, talking 2017 old, and some of my traditional art too, but I talked about how this personal side of my art influenced my fine art journey as a GCSE student, and how it influenced my work and my decisions in my coursework. This is the very last spread, with a small-scale experiment, a palette, and a picture of the final painting which measured 90 by 120 centimeters. It was humongous, and it took me about 3 months to complete, but it went above and beyond, and gave me that grade 9. Moving on from sketchbooks, I wanted to talk about what art supplies I found to be absolute godsends for my GCSE. I know that the art supplies don't determine your skill, but I found that these products unleashed a whole world of opportunity for experimentation. These are my Prismacolors. Having used colored pencils my whole life, I can confidently say that these are a big investment to make, but it is one that you will not regret. These pencils are so soft and easy to blend, and work so well in combination with many media, that I cannot help but recommend these to all GCSE students. Obviously, there are alternatives, but today I'm choosing to preach the best from what I've tried. Moving on to these bad boys, the classic Himi gouache paints that went viral during lockdown. I was a fortunate victim of the trend and found that these are actually such an amazing and versatile material to work with. These can be used for sketchbook backgrounds, outcomes on their own, or in combination with other media for a mixed piece. Moving on to the famous alcohol markers. I found that these work really well when used as a background, or a base color for a more detailed piece. There are so many brands and variants of alcohol markers that it's down to choice really, but I personally have the Ohuhu 48 brush set. Other essentials, which I found vital in determining the quality of my work, were the brushes I used. Whilst most schools can provide you with the materials needed, I bought my own for homeworks, and found that the De La Rone graduate brushes are the best, whilst still remaining fairly budget-friendly. They last for ages if they are taken care of properly, and truly give such a smooth brush stroke. And I reckon that is all. Obviously, let me know if there is anything I missed or if there are any further questions you might have. I'll do my best to help. Good luck with your GCSEs.